Hello there, and welcome to the Dozing Explorer. I am so very glad you have found your way to this quiet space tonight. Settle in and let the weight of the day begin to soften, letting your body feel the gentle support of the surface beneath you. There is nothing you need to do here, nowhere you need to be. Just allow each breath to be a little slower, a little deeper than the one that came before it. A quiet and gentle tide flowing in and out. Tonight, we will not be solving anything at all. Instead, we are going to drift through the quiet, inner landscapes of the mind and wander through the gentle psychology of how we find our way through the world. We will not be wrestling with difficult questions or searching for answers, but rather observing the mind's beautiful and natural ability to find its own path, much like a slow river finding its way to the sea. We will explore the silent, unseen architecture of thought, listening not to the noise of the problem, but to the quiet whispers of the solution as it gently emerges from the stillness. This is not a puzzle to be solved, but a wonderful, flowing current of ideas to simply float upon. We will imagine the mind as a vast and tranquil garden, where ideas are like seeds, quietly waiting for the right conditions to sprout. We will picture an insight not as a frantic search, but as a sudden, gentle bloom that opens in its own time when it is ready. We will feel the way our thoughts can form connections, like the delicate, shimmering threads of a spider's web catching the morning dew, creating beautiful and unexpected patterns in the quiet dark. This is a journey into the mind's own effortless grace, a visit to the calm, deep well of intuition that exists within us all, a place that works best when we are not trying, but simply resting. And if these quiet explorations of our own inner world help you to unwind and find your rest, you might consider liking and subscribing. It is a small and simple way to help our quiet community grow, helping others who are searching for a peaceful harbor to find their way here as well. There is no need to do anything about it now. It is just a soft thought to hold for a moment before letting it drift away on the next breath. For now, your only task is to rest. There is nothing you need to understand and nothing you need to remember. Let my voice simply be a gentle rhythm in the background, a soft and steady presence to anchor your drifting mind. If your thoughts wander, that is perfectly fine. Let them go where they please. And if sleep finds you, that is a wonderful thing. Let yourself soften. Let yourself sink into a state of deep and peaceful ease as our quiet journey begins. Your mind is quietly working on solutions, even when you are not paying attention. Think of it as a deep and silent part of a vast ocean, where powerful currents are moving far beneath the surface waves of your daily thoughts. While you are resting, or walking, or thinking of something else entirely, this deep mind is gently sifting through information, making quiet connections, and test-fitting different pieces of a puzzle together without any conscious effort from you. It is a tireless and gentle worker, operating in the background, much like the roots of a great tree that spread and seek out water in the dark earth, all while the leaves are basking in the sun. This process, known as incubation, is a gift of the mind, a quiet assurance that progress is being made even in moments of perfect stillness. It is the mind's own secret, silent form of contemplation. A sudden flash of insight is the gentle arrival of a thought that has been on a long journey. This beautiful experience, often called an aha moment, feels like a switch being flipped in a dark room, suddenly illuminating everything. But it is not a random event. It is the final step in a long, unseen process of preparation and incubation. It is the moment when all the quiet, background work of your mind finally connects, when a dozen separate threads are suddenly woven together into a single, beautiful tapestry of understanding. Imagine a field of flowers at night, each one a separate point of darkness, and then the sun rises, revealing how they are all part of one single, interconnected meadow. That sudden sunrise is the moment of insight, a gift from the deeper, quieter parts of your own awareness. It is the gentle reward for a period of quiet letting go. Sometimes, the mind holds on to an object's usual purpose so tightly it cannot see its other gifts. This is a gentle tendency known as functional fixedness, and it is a completely natural part of how we make sense of the world. Our minds learn that a hammer is for nails, a cup is for drinking, and a box is for holding things. This is efficient and helpful, but it can sometimes draw a curtain over other beautiful possibilities. Imagine seeing a beautiful seashell only as a home for a creature and not as a potential cup, or a speaker for the ocean's sound, or a piece of jewelry. The mind, in its desire for order, sometimes forgets that every object in the world is a multitude of things at once. Softening our focus allows us to see not just the object, but all the wonderful things it could become. It is like letting your eyes relax to see the hidden pictures in a complex pattern. Getting stuck on a problem is often the mind's way of asking for a period of rest. We can sometimes approach a challenge like a river pushing against a great stone, spending all of its energy on a single point of resistance. But the river's true strength is in its ability to flow around the obstacle to find a new and easier path. This state of being stuck, of thinking the same thoughts over and over, is called a mental impasse. It is not a failure, but a sign, a gentle signal from your mind that the current approach has been exhausted. It is an invitation to let the river of your thoughts widen, to slow down and pool, allowing the water to quietly seek out new channels. The solution is often not found by pushing harder, but by giving the mind permission to become still and wide. True progress is often born from a moment of perfect pause. 5. The brain often solves problems by making a bridge between two completely different ideas. This process, called analogical thinking, is one of the mind's most creative and beautiful abilities. It is the quiet recognition that the solution to one problem might be hiding in the story of another. A doctor trying to destroy a tumor without harming healthy tissue might suddenly think of a general attacking a fortress, sending in small groups of soldiers from many different directions at once. The two worlds, medicine and warfare, are completely separate, yet a bridge of structure is built between them. Your mind is a natural bridge builder, constantly and quietly looking for familiar patterns in new places, connecting distant islands of thought with shimmering, elegant threads of comparison. It is how we learn to navigate the unknown by the light of the known. 6. Letting your mind wander is one of the most direct paths to a creative solution. For a long time, we thought of a wandering mind as a loss of focus, but it is actually a different kind of focus, one that is wide, open, and receptive. Imagine a butterfly drifting through a garden. It does not fly in a straight line with a single goal. Instead, it floats from flower to flower, seemingly at random, and in doing so, it cross-pollinates the entire garden, creating new life. A wandering mind does the same thing with your thoughts. It drifts from a memory to a strange idea to a piece of a song, and in this gentle, meandering journey, it connects ideas that your focused, linear mind would never have placed together. It is a quiet, internal form of exploration, a necessary journey for finding the unexpected. 7. The feeling of a solution being just out of reach is a sign that it is very close. This is often called the tip of the tongue phenomenon, when we know that we know a word or a name, but cannot quite bring it into focus. It can feel frustrating, but it is actually a beautiful glimpse into the mind's retrieval process. The answer is not lost. It is simply in a neighboring room, and the door has not yet opened. It is like seeing the shape of a person through a frosted glass window. You can see their outline, you know they are there, but the fine details are not yet clear. The best way to open that door, or to make that glass clear, is often to relax. By letting go of the search, you give the idea the quiet space it needs to step forward on its own. The answer is simply waiting for a moment of peace to make its entrance. 8. Your mind builds small islands of knowledge and then connects them into continents. This process, known as chunking, is fundamental to how we learn and solve problems. When you first learn a new skill, like playing a piano, each note is a separate island, You have to think about each finger, each key, but with practice, your mind begins to group the notes into chords, and then the chords into phrases. These chunks become new, larger islands of knowledge that you can access with a single thought, without having to remember all the tiny pieces. Problem solving works in the same way. The mind takes small, separate pieces of information and bundles them into larger, more meaningful concepts, making it easier to see the grander pattern. It is how we build a cathedral of understanding from the simple stones of individual facts. 9. A state of gentle, positive feeling can make your mind more open and creative. Psychologists have found that when we are in a relaxed and happy state, our attention becomes broader. We are more likely to notice things in the periphery, more likely to make connections between distant ideas, and more likely to find creative solutions to problems. Think of your mind as a flower. In times of stress or fear, the flower closes up to protect itself, its focus becoming narrow and tight. But in a state of calm and contentment, the petals open wide to the sun, becoming receptive to everything the world has to offer. A moment of peace, a gentle breath, or a pleasant memory can be the sunshine that allows the flower of your mind to fully bloom. A calm mind is a wide and resourceful mind. 10. The very act of trying to explain a problem to someone else can often reveal the solution. This is sometimes called the debugger's duck method, where a programmer will explain their broken code line by line to an inanimate rubber duck on their desk. The magic is not in the duck, but in the process of externalizing and structuring your thoughts. By putting the problem into words, you are forced to organize it in a new, linear way. You are forced to confront the gaps in your own understanding and to see the assumptions you have been making. It is like taking a tangled ball of yarn and slowly, carefully, winding it into a neat and orderly skein. In that process of untangling, the hidden knot that was causing the problem often reveals itself, without the duck ever having to say a word. 11. Your brain continues to solve problems even while you are deep asleep. Sleep is not a passive state of shutdown for the mind. It is a time of quiet, essential work. While you are dreaming, your brain is busy consolidating the memories of the day, strengthening important connections, and pruning away the unimportant ones. It is like a wise and gentle librarian working through the night to reshelve all the books, putting them in a new and more logical order. This reorganization can lead to remarkable insights. A problem that seemed impossible in the evening can suddenly have a clear and simple solution in the morning, because the sleeping mind has been quietly arranging the pieces in a new and more helpful way. Sleep is not an escape from our problems. It is a quiet and fertile ground where their solutions can grow. 12. Our first idea is often a well-worn path that our mind prefers to take. This is known as the Einstein effect, a gentle tendency of the mind to get stuck on a familiar solution even when a much better or simpler one is available. Imagine you have a favorite path you walk through a forest every day. It is comfortable and you know it well. But one day, a new, more direct path opens up, yet you continue to take the old winding route out of sheer habit. Your mind does the same thing with solutions. It finds one that works and creates a mental pathway for it. This is efficient, but sometimes that comfortable path can blind us to a more elegant journey. The key to overcoming this is a gentle awareness, a willingness to pause and wonder if there might be another undiscovered trail nearby. 13. The mind has two beautiful and different ways of thinking, one that scatters like seeds and one that gathers like a harvest. The first is called divergent thinking, and it is the process of brainstorming, of generating as many different ideas and possibilities as you can, no matter how strange they seem. It is like a great river delta, spreading out into dozens of small, shimmering channels. The second is called convergent thinking, and it is the process of taking all those possibilities and narrowing them down, finding the single best answer to a well-defined problem. It is like all those channels of the delta coming back together into a single, powerful river flowing to the sea. A creative solution needs both of these gentle movements, a time of wide-open exploration and a time of quiet, focused return. Sometimes the most helpful step is to simply redefine what the problem truly is. We can spend a great deal of time and energy trying to solve a question that is not the real question at all. Albert Einstein himself once said that if he had an hour to save the world, he would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and only 5 minutes finding the solution. It is like being a ship's captain who is trying to find the fastest route through a storm. Perhaps the true problem is not how to go through the storm, but how to find a different route and avoid the storm altogether. By stepping back and gently asking what the fundamental goal is, we can sometimes see the problem dissolve into a much simpler question that was hiding beneath it all along. 15. The physical space around you can gently shape the way your mind works. We often think of problem solving as a purely internal process, but our environment is a quiet and constant partner in our thoughts. A large open room with high ceilings can subtly encourage more expansive, creative thinking. A cluttered and chaotic space can make our thoughts feel similarly cluttered. Walking in nature with its gentle, fractal patterns and soft, natural light has been shown to restore our focus and improve our creative abilities. It is as if the mind takes cues from the world around it, mirroring the shape of its surroundings. By creating a space of calm and gentle order, you are sending a quiet, supportive message to your own mind, inviting it to be calm and orderly as well. 16. Solutions often arrive when we are engaged in a simple, repetitive, and gentle task. Activities like walking, showering, knitting, or washing dishes can be incredibly fertile ground for insight. This is because these tasks occupy the conscious, focused part of your mind just enough to keep it from getting in the way. It gives the busy, bossy part of the brain a simple job to do, which allows the deeper, more intuitive parts to come out and play. It is like distracting a nervous guard at a gate so that the quiet, creative messengers can slip through unnoticed. This gentle state of relaxed attention is a perfect incubator for new ideas, allowing them to surface without the pressure of a direct and forceful search. 17. The mind stores our experiences not as perfect recordings, but as a web of interconnected feelings and ideas. This is why a certain smell can suddenly bring back a flood of memories from childhood. When we face a new problem, our mind doesn't just search for identical problems in our past. Instead, it searches this vast web for similar feelings, similar structures, similar relationships. A problem in your work might trigger a faint unconscious echo of a puzzle you solved as a child, or a difficult conversation you navigated years ago. Your mind then borrows the successful patterns from those old memories and gently offers them as a template for the new situation. Your entire life experience is a quiet, whispering library of potential solutions, waiting to be consulted. 18. Sometimes a solution feels wrong, even when it seems logically correct. This is the voice of your intuition, a form of deep, holistic pattern recognition. Your intuition is not a magical or random force. It is your unconscious mind processing a vast amount of information from your past experiences, far more than your conscious mind can handle at once. It recognizes a subtle mismatch, a tiny detail that doesn't fit the overall pattern, and it sends a gentle signal of unease. It is like a master art historian who can tell a forgery from a masterpiece with a single glance. They may not be able to immediately explain why, but they are sensing 1,000 tiny inconsistencies that their lifetime of experience has taught them to recognize. Trusting this gentle inner feeling is a way of honoring the wisdom of your own deeper mind. 19. Breaking a large problem down into the smallest possible pieces can make it feel as gentle as a stream. A great, complex challenge can feel like a mountain, impossibly high and overwhelming. The mind can freeze in the face of such a colossal task. But every mountain is made of small stones, and every journey up it is made of single steps. By gently and patiently breaking the problem down into a series of small, manageable, and even tiny tasks, the mountain dissolves. It becomes a simple, clear path of stones laid out before you. The mind can then focus on just the next single step, and then the next, without feeling the weight of the entire journey. It is a way of being kind to your own mind, transforming a source of stress into a peaceful, step-by-step process. 20. Thinking with your hands can unlock different parts of your brain. Our minds are not just located in our heads, they are deeply connected to our bodies and our senses. When we are stuck on an abstract problem, sometimes the best thing to do is to make it physical. Building a model of the problem out of clay, or drawing a rich, colorful map of it with pens and paper, or even just pacing around a room while you think, can activate different neural pathways. It engages parts of the brain that are not accessed by purely verbal or logical thought. It is like opening new windows in a stuffy room, letting in fresh air and light. This physical engagement with an idea can often reveal connections and solutions that were invisible to the mind when it was sitting still. 21. A short break can be more productive than hours of effort. Our brains are not designed for sustained, high-intensity focus over long periods. They operate in natural rhythms of high and low energy, like the ebb and flow of the tide. When we try to force our minds to work continuously on a difficult problem, we experience diminishing returns. Our thinking becomes rigid, and we are more likely to get stuck in unproductive loops. But taking a short break, even just 5 minutes to look out a window, stretch, or listen to a piece of music, acts as a reset button. It allows the mind to disengage from the narrow focus of the problem and enter a more diffuse, relaxed state where new connections can be made. A mindful pause is not a waste of time. It is an essential part of the creative process. 22. The questions we ask ourselves silently shape the answers we are able to find. The way we frame a problem in our own mind acts as a gentle but powerful filter, determining which solutions are even possible. If we ask, "Why is this so difficult?" our mind will diligently search for all the reasons it is difficult, reinforcing the feeling of being stuck. But if we gently shift the question to something like, "What is one small, simple thing I could try?" Or, "What would this look like if it were easy?" our mind begins to search a completely different landscape of possibilities. It is like being a photographer who changes the lens on their camera. A different lens doesn't change the world, but it completely changes what you are able to see of it. 23. An outside perspective can reveal a solution that is hidden in plain sight. When we are deeply immersed in a problem, we can develop a kind of tunnel vision. We become so familiar with the details and our own assumptions that we can no longer see the whole picture clearly. Someone else, who is not burdened by all that history, can look at the same landscape and see a simple path that was completely invisible to us. It is like being lost in a dense forest, able to see only the trees immediately around you. A friend standing on a nearby hill can see the entire layout of the forest and can easily point out the way home. This is why sharing a problem is not a sign of weakness, but a wise and effective strategy for finding a new and clearer view. 24. Our brains are wired to see patterns, even where none exist. This is a beautiful and fundamental aspect of how we make sense of a complex world. We see faces in the clouds, connect stars into constellations, and find meaning in random sequences of events. This pattern-making drive is a powerful engine for creativity, allowing us to see novel connections and form new ideas. But it can also lead us down the wrong path, making us see a cause and effect that isn't really there. The gentle path is to hold our perceived patterns lightly, to appreciate them as possibilities rather than certainties. It is to enjoy the face in the clouds without insisting that the cloud is truly a giant. This allows us to use our pattern-making gift without becoming trapped by it. 25. True expertise is not just knowing more facts, but but seeing the deeper structure of a problem. A novice looking at a complex situation, like a chessboard in the middle of a game, will see only a collection of individual pieces. They have to calculate every possible move one by one. An expert, a grandmaster, sees something entirely different. They do not see 32 separate pieces. They see a small number of meaningful patterns, relationships of force, and structures of threat and defense. They see the underlying story of the game. This ability comes from thousands of hours of experience, which has allowed their mind to build a rich library of these deep structures. For the expert, solving the problem is not a matter of calculation, but of gentle recognition. 26. Emotion and logic are not enemies. They are two different kinds of information. We often have a sense that our emotions cloud our judgment and that the best decisions are made with pure, cold logic. But our feelings are a form of data too. They are a summary of our past experiences, a quick and intuitive assessment of a situation. A feeling of unease about a particular solution might be your mind's way of telling you that it subtly conflicts with your deeper values, or that it reminds you of a past situation that ended poorly. The key is not to let one overwhelm the other, but to let them exist in a gentle dialogue. It is like navigating a ship using both a compass for direction and a weather forecast for the changing conditions. Both are needed for a safe and successful journey. 27. Sometimes working backward from the goal is the most direct way forward. When we are faced with a maze, the natural tendency is to start at the beginning and try to find a path to the end. But a surprisingly effective strategy is to start at the end and trace the path back to the beginning. Many types of problems are like this. By imagining that you have already found the perfect solution and then asking yourself, what would the step right before that have been, and the step before that, you can construct a clear and logical path. It transforms the problem from a confusing, open-ended search into a simple process of connecting the dots. It is like building a bridge by starting from the opposite shore and building your way back to where you stand. 28. The language we use to describe a problem can either open or close doors in our mind. If we call a situation a disaster or a catastrophe, our mind reacts with fear and stress, narrowing its focus to pure survival. But if we gently reframe the very same situation as a puzzle, a challenge, or an opportunity, the mind relaxes. It becomes curious and playful, and its creative resources become available again. The words are not just labels. They are instructions we give to our own minds. They are the frame we place around the painting of our experience. By choosing our words with gentle intention, we can transform a threatening picture into an interesting and engaging one without changing the contents of the picture at all. 29. Our minds are natural storytellers, and a solution is often the satisfying end to a story. When we encounter a problem, our brain automatically begins to construct a narrative around it. There is a beginning, the current state, a middle, the struggle or journey, and an end, the desired outcome. A good solution is one that makes for a coherent and satisfying story. This is why we are often drawn to solutions that feel elegant or simple. They create a better, more pleasing narrative. By consciously thinking about the problem as a story, we can sometimes find a better ending. We can ask ourselves, what kind of hero is needed in this story? Or, what is the secret piece of information that will change the plot? It turns a dry problem into a creative act of storytelling. 30. Stepping away from a problem is not giving up. It is an act of trust in your own mind. There is a deep wisdom in knowing when to stop, when to release your conscious grip on a problem, and allow the deeper, quieter processes of the mind to take over. This act of letting go can feel counterintuitive, as if we are abandoning our post, but it is precisely the opposite. It is an expression of confidence that your mind has all the resources it needs, and that it simply requires a period of quiet and freedom to do its best work. It is like a gardener who, after planting a seed and watering the soil, steps back and trusts in the sun and the rain and the quiet, hidden processes of growth. The most important work often happens when we are doing nothing at all. 31. Curiosity is the gentle engine of all problem solving. Before any strategy or technique, there must be a quiet, open-hearted desire to understand. Curiosity is not an aggressive or demanding state. It is a soft and receptive one. It is the simple act of asking, "I wonder why," or "what if," without any immediate need for a definitive answer. It is a state of playful exploration, like a child turning over a strange stone to see what lies beneath. When we approach a problem with curiosity instead of anxiety, the entire experience changes. The problem ceases to be an adversary to be defeated and instead becomes a mystery to be gently explored, a landscape to be wandered through with a sense of wonder. It is the difference between a battle and a quiet, fascinating journey. 32. Physical movement can get our thoughts unstuck and flowing again. The human brain evolved in bodies that were almost constantly in motion, walking, running, and exploring. A deep connection exists between the rhythm of our bodies and the rhythm of our thoughts. When we sit perfectly still for too long, our thinking can become similarly static and rigid. But the simple act of going for a walk can create a gentle, rhythmic jostling of our ideas. The steady beat of our footsteps can help to organize our thoughts, and the changing scenery provides a gentle stream of new input that can spark unexpected connections. It is as if the motion of our legs helps to pump fresh ideas through the mind, loosening what was stuck and allowing for a new and easy flow. 33. Sometimes the solution is to do nothing at all and simply let the problem resolve itself. Not every tangled knot needs to be actively untied. Some problems, particularly those involving complex systems or the feelings of other people, are like a stirred-up pool of muddy water. Our frantic attempts to fix them can often just stir up more mud. The wisest and most effective action can be to simply wait, to allow the particles to settle on their own. This requires a gentle patience and a trust in the natural tendency of things to find a state of balance. It is an active and mindful form of non-action, a recognition that our intervention is not always helpful. The quiet art of waiting is one of the most powerful and underappreciated tools for solving a certain class of problems. The feeling of being overwhelmed is often a sign of trying to hold too many thoughts at once. Our conscious awareness, our working memory, is like a small table. It can only hold a few items at a time before things start to fall off. When a problem has many different parts and variables, trying to juggle them all in our head at once is like trying to balance a dozen spinning plates on that small table. It is an impossible task that creates a feeling of stress and chaos. The simple act of writing everything down, of externalizing the problem onto a piece of paper, is like moving all those plates to a much larger floor. It frees the mind from the task of holding and allows it to do what it does best: see connections and patterns between the pieces that are now laid out clearly before it. 35. We solve problems based on the unique mental maps of reality we each carry in our minds. These maps, called mental models, are our internal representations of how the world works. We have a mental model for how a car works, how the weather works, how a conversation works. When we face a new problem, we consult these internal maps to find a route. But our maps are not the territory itself. They are simplified sketches. Sometimes our map might be outdated or incomplete, leading us astray. The key to better problem solving is to be a gentle cartographer of our own minds, to be aware that we are always navigating with a map, and to be willing to update that map when we encounter new and surprising information from the real world. 36. Looking at a problem from a completely different point of view can make it shrink. Imagine a large and intimidating statue in the middle of a town square. If you stand right at its base and look up, it can seem monstrous and overwhelming. But if you were to climb a nearby clock tower and look down upon it, you would see it in its true context, a small part of a larger, beautiful pattern of streets and buildings. Many problems are like this. By mentally climbing the clock tower, by asking how someone in a different profession, or a different country, or even a different century might view this same problem, we can change our perspective. This shift in viewpoint can often shrink the problem down to its true size, revealing it to be a manageable part of a much larger and often less intimidating whole. 37. Embracing uncertainty is a key to finding novel solutions. Our minds have a natural desire for certainty and closure. We like clear answers and predictable outcomes. This desire can sometimes cause us to seize upon the first workable solution we find, even if it is not the best one, simply to relieve the discomfort of the unknown. But the most creative solutions often live in that space of ambiguity, in the quiet willingness to say, "I don't know yet." This is not a state of confusion, but a state of open potential. It is like a painter who is willing to tolerate a messy, unfinished canvas, knowing that the most beautiful possibilities have not yet been discovered. By learning to rest peacefully in the gentle space of not knowing, we give the most creative answers the time they need to emerge. 38. Constraints and limitations can paradoxically make us more creative. We often think that complete freedom is the ideal condition for problem solving, but this is not always true. A blank page can be intimidating. But if you are given a constraint, like being told to write a poem with only a certain number of words, or to build a bridge using only a specific set of materials, your mind is forced to become more inventive. Limitations channel our creative energy. They force us to find clever and unexpected ways to work within the rules. It is like a river that flows faster and with more power when it is guided through a narrow channel. The right kind of constraint is not a cage, but a focusing lens that can turn a diffuse light of creativity into a sharp, powerful beam. 39. Humor and playfulness are profound tools for shifting perspective. When we are serious and anxious about a problem, our thinking becomes narrow and rigid. But when we can bring a sense of play to the situation, everything changes. Making a joke about the problem, exaggerating it to a ridiculous degree, or imagining a silly and impossible solution can break the mental tension. It is like shaking up a snow globe that has settled. This act of playful disruption can dislodge our old, stuck assumptions and allow us to see the problem in a new, less threatening light. Play is not the opposite of serious work. It is a different and often more effective pathway to the same goal, a sunny and winding path up the mountain instead of a steep and rocky one. 40. The solution to a complex problem is often not a single brilliant idea, but an emergent property of many small interacting parts. We have a tendency to look for a single, simple cause for every effect, but many of the systems we deal with, in nature, in society, in our own lives, are not that simple. The solution may not be a single action, but a series of small, gentle adjustments that together create a new and more desirable pattern. It is like tending a garden. A healthy garden is not the result of one grand act, but of the patient and continuous process of watering, weeding, and nurturing. The solution emerges from the whole system, rather than being imposed upon it. It is a quieter, more humble, and often more powerful way of creating change. 41. Our memories are not stored like books on a shelf, but are rebuilt every time we access them. Each time you recall a past event, your brain is not just replaying a recording, it is actively reconstructing the memory from various fragments of information, and in this process, it is influenced by your current mood, beliefs, and context. This means that our memories are fluid and malleable, not fixed. In problem solving, this can be a great gift. It means we can go back to the memory of a past failure and gently reinterpret it, not as an ending, but as a valuable lesson. We can rebuild the memory to emphasize the strengths we showed or the knowledge we gained, transforming it from a source of discouragement into a source of quiet wisdom. 42. The quiet spaces between our thoughts are as important as the thoughts themselves. In music, the rests, the moments of silence between the notes, are what give the melody its rhythm and shape. Without them, there would only be a wall of continuous, meaningless sound. Our thinking is much the same. A mind that is constantly filled with noise, with an endless stream of conscious thought, has no space for new ideas to arise. The practice of creating moments of inner quiet through a few deep breaths, a short meditation, or simply by sitting and listening to the sounds around you is like adding rests to the music of your mind. It creates the spaciousness needed for the quiet, deeper melodies of insight and intuition to be heard. 43. Even the simplest tool can extend the power of our minds in profound ways. Something as humble as a pencil and a piece of paper is a piece of technology for thinking. It allows us to overcome the severe limitations of our working memory, to make our ideas visible, to arrange and rearrange them in space. By drawing a simple diagram, a mind map, or a flowchart, we are not just recording our thoughts, we are actively thinking with the paper. The paper becomes an extension of our own mind, a quiet and patient partner in the process of discovery. It allows us to see the whole of a complex idea at once, in a way that our unaided internal mind simply cannot. It is a gentle reminder that we do not have to solve our problems alone in the dark of our own heads. But the communication is a two-way street. The posture we hold, the tension in our muscles, and the rhythm of our breathing all send powerful signals back to the brain, influencing our thoughts and emotions. If you sit slumped over, your mind is more likely to retrieve negative memories and feel helpless. If you stand tall and take a few deep, slow breaths, your mind is more likely to feel confident and capable. By gently changing our physical state, by relaxing our shoulders or softening our gaze, we can send a quiet message of calm and resourcefulness to our brain, creating a better inner environment for problem solving. 45. Sometimes the most progress is made by taking a small step in a seemingly random direction. When we are completely stuck with no clear path forward, it can be paralyzing. The desire to find the perfect next step can prevent us from taking any step at all. In these moments, the strategy of taking a small experimental action, even if we are not sure it is the right one, can be incredibly powerful. It is like being in a dark room and reaching out your hand to touch the wall. The act of moving and making contact gives you new information about the shape of the room. A small, imperfect action can provide the feedback we need to see the next step, and the one after that, breaking the paralysis and starting a gentle momentum of discovery. 46. The people we surround ourselves with become a part of our own extended mind. Our thinking is not a solitary activity. We are constantly influenced by the ideas, perspectives, and ways of thinking of those around us. When we share a problem with a diverse group of people, we are not just getting more ideas, we are temporarily borrowing their brains. We get to see the problem through their unique mental models, filtered through their different life experiences. This collaborative thinking can create a collective intelligence that is far greater than the sum of its parts. It is like multiple lanterns coming together in a dark wood, their combined light illuminating a much larger area than any single lantern could on its own. 47. A problem well stated is a problem half solved. The initial way we frame a problem is often vague, emotional, and tangled up with other issues. The gentle and patient work of clarifying the question, of defining its boundaries, and of stating the desired outcome in simple, clear terms is one of the most crucial steps. It is like a sculptor who first must understand the block of marble, turning it over and over, seeing its grain and its flaws, before ever picking up a chisel. This initial phase of deep observation and clear definition is not a prelude to the real work. It is the real work. It is the act of creating a clean, well-lit space in which a solution can gracefully appear. 48. Rest is not the absence of activity. It is a different and vital kind of activity. We tend to think of rest as a luxury, something we do only when the work is finished. But for the mind, rest is an essential nutrient, as important as food and water. During periods of true rest, not just distraction, but deep, quiet stillness, the brain is able to clear out metabolic waste products, consolidate learning, and integrate new information. It is a period of profound recovery and reorganization. Denying the mind this quiet, restorative time is like expecting a field to produce a bountiful harvest year after year without ever letting it lie fallow. True creativity and clear thinking are the harvest that grows from a field of quiet, well-tended rest. 49. The solution to one problem is often the beginning of a new, more interesting one. We sometimes think of problem solving as a destination, a final state of rest and completion. But more often, it is a continuous journey. A successful solution to one question often opens up a whole new landscape of possibilities and new, more subtle questions to explore. It is like climbing a mountain. When you reach the summit, you have not reached the end of the world. You have simply gained a new, higher vantage point from which you can see all the other beautiful mountains there are yet to climb. This transforms problem solving from a chore to be completed into a wonderful, endless process of discovery and growth. 50. The mind's natural state is not one of frantic effort, but of gentle, flowing curiosity. In our modern world, it is easy to feel that we must constantly be striving, pushing, and forcing our minds to work. But this is like trying to make a river flow faster by pushing it from behind. The river flows best when we simply remove the obstacles, the logs of anxiety, the stones of self-doubt. The mind's natural, underlying current is one of wonder, exploration, and a desire to make sense of the world. By creating the inner conditions of calm and safety, we are not forcing the mind to solve problems. We are simply allowing it to return to its natural, graceful, and effortlessly intelligent state of being. 51. Your mind has the beautiful ability to quietly watch itself think. This gentle inner observer is a capacity known as metacognition, and it is like having a calm lighthouse keeper who can look down upon the swirling sea of your own thoughts and feelings. This keeper does not try to control the waves, but simply notices their patterns, their direction, and their strength. By cultivating this quiet awareness, you can begin to see the habits of your own mind, noticing when it is stuck in a loop or when it is flowing freely. It is the simple, non-judgmental act of recognizing a thought as a thought, an emotion as an emotion. This gentle step back creates a space of calm, a quiet shore from which you can observe the weather of your own mind without being swept away by it. It is the beginning of a peaceful and wise friendship with yourself. 52. We all have well-worn pathways in our minds, mental shortcuts that help us navigate the day. These gentle habits of thought are called heuristics, and they are like familiar trails through a dense forest that we have walked 1,000 times. They allow us to make decisions quickly and with little effort, to know that a dark cloud might mean rain, or that a smile is a friendly sign. These paths are a gift, saving us from having to analyze every single detail of every single moment. They are the mind's own form of quiet, efficient poetry. But sometimes these comfortable trails can keep us from discovering a new part of the forest, a beautiful clearing, or a hidden stream that lies just off the beaten path. A gentle pause allows us to lift our heads and wonder if there might be another, unexplored way to go. 52. The mind has a natural and gentle tendency to look for what it already believes. This is known as confirmation bias, and it is not a flaw, but a soft inclination toward comfort and consistency. Imagine you are wearing a pair of pale blue sunglasses. Everything you see will have a faint blue tint, and you will naturally notice all the things that are blue, while other colors may seem less vibrant. In the same way, our beliefs act as a subtle filter on our perception. We tend to notice, seek out, and remember information that harmonizes with what we already hold to be true. It is the mind's way of keeping its inner world stable and coherent. Recognizing this gentle tint is not about judging it, but simply about remembering that the world is painted in a full spectrum of colors, far beyond what our current lens might be showing us. 54. Ideas and memories that are easy for the mind to recall often feel more important than they truly are. This is the availability heuristic, a gentle trick of the mind's inner lighting. Think of your memory as a vast and dark landscape at night. Some memories, because they are recent or vivid or emotionally charged, are like bright, glowing lanterns. Others are like quiet, moss-covered stones in the shadows. When your mind needs to make a judgment, it naturally glances around this landscape and is drawn to the brightest lights. The lantern-like memories seem more significant and more common simply because they are more visible. It is a quiet and useful shortcut, but it is helpful to remember all the silent, unseen stones that also make up the truth of the landscape, resting peacefully in the dark. 55. Your dreams are a secret and wonderful laboratory for solving problems. When you are asleep, the logical, linear part of your brain takes a rest, and the more associative, imaginative parts come out to play. In this dream state, the mind takes the worries and puzzles of the day and scrambles them, combining them in strange and beautiful ways, like a child playing with a set of building blocks with no instructions. A problem from work might be blended with a memory from childhood and the feeling of a favorite song. This free and unstructured play can create the most unexpected connections. It can build a bridge between two ideas that your waking mind would never have placed together, presenting you with a strange, symbolic, and often deeply insightful solution upon waking. Dreams are the mind's own form of quiet, nightly brainstorming. 56. There is a gentle discomfort that arises when we hold two conflicting ideas in our minds at the same time. This inner state, known as cognitive dissonance, is like hearing two beautiful but clashing notes played on a piano at once. The mind, which has a deep and natural love for harmony, feels a gentle pressure to resolve this tension. It will begin a quiet, internal process of trying to bring the two notes back into a pleasing chord. It might decide that one idea is more important than the other, or it might subtly change one of the beliefs to make it fit better. This is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to the mind's profound drive toward inner peace and coherence. It is the gentle, unseen work of a musician constantly tuning the strings of our own beliefs. 57. True clarity can come from observing your thoughts as if they were clouds drifting across the sky. This is the heart of mindfulness. It is not about emptying your mind or stopping your thoughts, which is an impossible task, like trying to stop the wind. Instead, it is about changing your relationship to them. You find a quiet place inside yourself and simply watch. A thought about yesterday appears, and you notice it, as you would notice a small white cloud. Then it drifts away. A feeling of worry comes, and you noticed it, like a passing gray cloud, without judgment and without needing to follow it. This gentle, observational stance creates a space between you and your thoughts. You realize you are not the clouds, but the vast, open, and peaceful sky through which they all pass. 58. Believing that your abilities can grow is like tending to a garden that can bloom indefinitely. This is the essence of a growth mindset. It is the quiet, inner understanding that your talents and intelligence are not fixed, like statues carved from stone, but are more like seeds that can be nurtured and grown with effort and experience. A fixed mindset, on the other hand, sees abilities as finite, and every challenge becomes a test that could reveal a permanent limit. The gentle shift to a growth mindset transforms the entire inner landscape. A mistake is no longer a sign of failure, but a welcome source of information, like a gardener learning what a particular plant needs more of. It turns life from a series of tests into a wonderful and endless opportunity for growth. 59. In a group, the desire for harmony can sometimes become a current so strong that it pulls everyone in the same direction. This phenomenon, known as groupthink, happens when the deep human need for belonging and agreement gently overrides the importance of critical thinking. Imagine a choir where everyone is so focused on singing in perfect unison that no one dares to introduce a new, beautiful harmony for fear of creating a moment of dissonance. The result is a song that is safe and harmonious, but one that lacks richness and depth. A healthy group, like a healthy choir, understands that moments of gentle disagreement and diverse perspectives are not a threat to harmony, but the very source of its most beautiful and complex music. It is the courage to sing your own note, knowing it will make the final chord richer. 60. Brainstorming is the gentle act of allowing a shower of ideas to fall without deciding which ones are raindrops and which are diamonds. In this state of creative openness, the goal is not to find the right answer, but to generate the widest possible landscape of possibilities. It is a time for divergent thinking, for letting your mind spread out like a fan. Every idea is welcomed. The silly, the impossible, the strange, all are invited to the table. This is because the judgment-free process of creation allows the mind to make leaps it would not normally dare to. A seemingly useless idea can become a stepping stone to a brilliant one. It is like allowing 1,000 seeds to be scattered by the wind, knowing that you do not need to know which ones will grow into mighty trees just yet. First, you must simply let them fall. The solution to a problem is often hiding just outside a frame we have unknowingly drawn around it. There is a classic puzzle involving 9 dots arranged in a square, where the challenge is to connect them all with only 4 straight lines, without lifting your pen. The only way to solve it is to draw lines that extend beyond the invisible boundary of the square created by the dots. Our minds often do the same thing. We create imaginary borders around a problem based on our assumptions and past experiences. We work diligently within this self-imposed frame, not realizing that the solution is waiting peacefully in the open space just outside. A moment of insight is often the gentle realization that the frame we were honoring was never really there to begin with. 62. Your conscious mind is like a small, quiet desk that can only hold a few items at a time. This limited workspace is known as your cognitive load. When a problem is simple, with only 1 or 2 pieces, it fits comfortably on the desk, and you can examine it with ease. But when a problem is complex, with dozens of interconnected parts, trying to hold them all in your mind at once is like piling a mountain of books and papers onto that small desk. Things will inevitably fall and get lost, creating a feeling of being overwhelmed and confused. The gentle art of problem solving often involves finding ways to work with this limitation by writing things down or breaking the problem into smaller pieces so that you are only placing 1 or 2 items on your mental desk at any given moment. 63. Sleep is the mind's quiet, diligent archivist, working through the night to sort and file the day's experiences. While you rest, your brain is engaged in a profound process called memory consolidation. It is like a librarian walking through the grand library of your mind after it has closed for the day. The librarian takes the messy pile of new books that arrived, the day's learning, experiences, and unsolved problems, and carefully finds the right shelf for each one. It strengthens the connections between new knowledge and old, weaves disparate ideas together, and quietly discards the unimportant details. This nightly curation is why a good night's sleep can so often bring clarity. You wake up to find the library of your mind is more orderly, with the most important books placed on a table open to the page you were looking for. The less we know about something, the more confident we can sometimes feel that we know it all. This strange and gentle paradox is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Imagine your knowledge of a vast subject is like a small, brightly lit island in a great, dark ocean of the unknown. For someone on that small island, all they can see is the light. The vastness of the surrounding darkness is invisible to them, so their small patch of ground feels like the entire world. But as a person's knowledge grows, their island of light expands, and for the first time, its shoreline touches the great, dark ocean. It is only by knowing more that one begins to appreciate the true immensity of all that is not yet known. True wisdom is not a larger island, but a deeper appreciation for the ocean. 65. It can be difficult to let go of a path simply because we have walked a long way down it. This is the sunk cost fallacy, a gentle pull from the past that can shape our decisions about the future. Imagine you have spent hours climbing a mountain, only to realize you are on the wrong trail. The logical thing to do would be to go back and find the right path. But the thought of all the time and effort already spent can make you want to push forward, hoping the wrong path will somehow lead to the right place. Our minds do this with projects, relationships, and ideas. We honor the investment we have already made. The gentle wisdom is to remember that the past effort is a gift already given. It does not need to be a chain that binds you to a path that no longer leads where you wish to go. 66. The way a choice is presented to us can feel like changing the light in a room, making the same furniture look entirely different. This is called the framing effect, and it shows how our decisions are gently guided by the context in which they are placed. For example, a food that is described as 90% fat-free sounds much more appealing than one described as containing 10% fat, even though they are the exact same thing. The first frame highlights the positive, the second highlights the negative. The mind, like a plant, has a natural tendency to lean towards the light. By being aware of the frame, we can appreciate the picture for what it is, and we can also learn to gently reframe our own problems, choosing to see the window of opportunity instead of the wall of difficulty. 77. The first piece of information we receive about something often acts as a quiet anchor for all our future thoughts about it. This is the anchoring bias, a subtle and natural mental tendency. Imagine a deep, still lake. The first number or fact you hear is like the first stone dropped into the water, creating a ripple. All subsequent stones you throw in will be judged and perceived in relation to that first central ripple. If the first price you see for a house is very high, all other prices will seem reasonable in comparison, even if they are also high. The mind needs a starting point, a place to begin its measurements, and it naturally holds on to the first one it is given. It is a quiet and powerful current, and simply knowing it is there can help us to swim more freely. 78. Your mind has two beautiful ways of knowing the world. One is as fast and intuitive as a hare, the other as slow and deliberate as a tortoise. The fast system is your intuition, your gut feelings. It operates automatically and quickly, with little or no effort, recognizing patterns and making instant judgments. It is the part of you that knows a friend's face in a crowd or feels a sudden sense of unease. The slow system is your conscious, reasoning mind. It is the tortoise that allocates attention to effortful mental activities, like complex calculations or weighing the pros and cons of a major decision. Both are essential. The hare is brilliant at navigating the familiar world, while the tortoise is needed when the path is new and complex. A wise mind knows when to let the hare run and when to ask the tortoise for its slow, steady counsel. 71. The ability to gracefully switch between different ways of thinking is like being a river that can flow around any obstacle. This skill, known as cognitive flexibility, is a hallmark of a creative and resilient mind. It is the capacity to let go of one approach that isn't working and easily adopt another. It is being able to zoom in to focus on the fine details of a problem and then zoom out to see the entire landscape in which it rests. It is the willingness to abandon a cherished belief in the face of new evidence. A mind that is rigid is like a river that has been frozen. It is stuck in one shape. But a flexible mind is like flowing water, able to adapt its form to fit any container, to find its way through any crack, always moving, always alive with possibility. 80. Your brain has a gentle way of encouraging you along the path to a solution by offering small drops of pleasure for each step forward. This is the work of the neurotransmitter dopamine, which is associated with feelings of reward and motivation. When you have a small breakthrough, a tiny aha moment where a little piece of the puzzle clicks into place, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine. It feels good. This feeling is not just a pleasant sensation, it is a quiet, internal signal that says, yes, that's a good path. Keep going. It is the brain's own system of leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for itself, a series of small, pleasurable discoveries that guide you through the dense forest of a difficult problem, motivating you to continue the journey toward the final, satisfying solution. 81. There is a deep wisdom in knowing when something is good enough rather than endlessly searching for the absolute best. This is the difference between satisficing and maximizing. A maximizer feels they must examine every single option to ensure they are making the perfect choice, a process that can be exhausting and filled with anxiety. A satisficer, on the other hand, has a clear idea of their criteria, and as soon as they find an option that meets those criteria, they choose it and move on contentedly. It is like the difference between someone who must search every inch of a vast beach for the most perfect shell, and someone who finds a shell that is beautiful and feels right in their hand and is happy with their discovery. Satisficing is a gentle art of contentment, a quiet release from the tyranny of the perfect choice. 82. Making an idea physical, giving it a form you can see and touch, is like inviting it out of the misty realm of thought and into the clear light of day. This is the power of creating a prototype or a model. An idea that is purely in your head can seem perfect and complete because you have not yet confronted its flaws and complexities. But when you try to draw it or build a simple version of it out of cardboard or act it out, you are forced to make it real. This process of translation from the abstract to the concrete is an act of discovery. It immediately reveals the parts that are confusing or don't work, and it often sparks new ideas you never would have had otherwise. It is a quiet and humble conversation between your hands and your mind. 83. To approach a problem with a beginner's mind is to see the world as if for the first time, full of wonder and possibility. As we become experts in a field, our minds create efficient and useful patterns for understanding it. But these very patterns can sometimes prevent us from seeing a radically new or simple solution. The beginner's mind is a gentle practice of setting aside our expertise, of letting go of what we think we know. It is the willingness to ask the stupid questions, the ones a child might ask. It is to look at a familiar garden as if you have never seen a flower or a tree before. This state of open, curious ignorance allows us to see the world without the filters of our own assumptions, creating a clear space where the most surprising insights can bloom. 84. You can walk a path 1,000 times in your mind before your feet ever touch the ground. This powerful technique, known as mental rehearsal or visualization, is used by athletes, musicians, and thinkers of all kinds. By vividly imagining yourself going through the motions of solving a problem or performing a skill, you are activating the same neural pathways that you would use in the actual event. It is like a gentle dress rehearsal in the quiet theater of your own mind. This practice builds confidence, refines your strategy, and can reveal potential obstacles before you ever encounter them. It is a quiet and focused form of daydreaming, a way of exploring the future in a safe and supportive inner space, so that when the moment arrives, the path already feels familiar and welcoming. 85. A moment of boredom is not an empty space to be feared, but a fallow field where the mind can quietly restore itself. In our constantly connected world, we have become experts at filling every spare moment with distraction, but by doing so, we rob our minds of a crucial state. When the brain is not being fed a constant stream of external information, it switches into a different mode of operating. It begins to wander, to connect old ideas, to process lingering emotions, and to daydream about the future. This is the fertile ground from which our most creative and original ideas often spring. Boredom is the quiet, unassuming doorway to your own imagination. It is a gentle invitation from your mind to stop looking outside for a moment and to come and explore the rich and fascinating world within. 86. When we look back at an event from the past, it often seems as though the outcome was inevitable and predictable. This is the hindsight bias, a gentle rewriting of history by our storyteller minds. Looking back from the peak of a mountain, the path you took seems clear and obvious. You can see all the turns and twists in a single coherent line. But when you were actually climbing it, down in the forest, the path was uncertain, and there were many moments of confusion and choice. The mind likes neat stories, so it smooths over the uncertainty of the past, making it feel more orderly than it was. Remembering this gentle bias can make us more compassionate with ourselves and others, knowing that the right path is always far clearer in retrospect than it is in the moment. 87. Sometimes, the act of forgetting is as important as the act of remembering. Our minds are not designed to hold on to every single detail of every experience. That would be completely overwhelming. Instead, the mind is a brilliant editor, constantly working to forget the unimportant details so that it can remember the essential gist, the underlying pattern. This process of abstraction is crucial for problem solving. By letting go of the distracting, specific details of a situation, we are better able to see its deep structure, the simple skeleton beneath the complex surface. This allows us to recognize how a new problem is similar to an old one, even if they look completely different on the outside. Forgetting is not a failure of memory, it is an essential part of the process of creating wisdom. 88. A single mind does not solve a problem alone. It works within a web of other minds and tools. This idea is called distributed cognition. It recognizes that our thinking process is not confined to the space between our ears. It extends out into our environment. When you write a note on a piece of paper, that paper becomes a part of your memory. When you discuss an idea with a friend, their mind becomes a temporary part of yours, offering a different perspective. When you use a calculator, it becomes an extension of your mathematical abilities. Your mind is constantly forming a quiet, temporary system with the people and objects around it, creating a larger, more powerful thinking entity to meet the challenge at hand. We are all individual nodes in a vast and beautiful web of shared thought. 89. An unfinished task has a special way of lingering in our minds, gently asking for our attention. This is the Zeigarnik effect, named after the psychologist who noticed that a waiter could remember complex, unpaid orders perfectly, but would instantly forget them the moment the bill was paid. The mind seems to create a special state of tension for incomplete goals. This tension keeps the relevant thoughts and information close to the surface of our awareness, ready to be worked on. It is like a song that gets stuck in your head, a melody that will loop endlessly until the final resolving note is played. This gentle, persistent reminder is the mind's own way of ensuring that what has been started will, eventually, find its peaceful and satisfying conclusion. 90. Within you are two profound ways of understanding, the whisper of the heart and the calculation of the mind. Intuitive thinking is holistic, fast, and often feels like a deep, quiet knowing without a clear reason. It is the part of you that can sense the mood of a room or make a quick judgment about a situation based on 1,000 tiny, unconscious cues. Analytic thinking, in contrast, is slow, deliberate, logical, and step-by-step. It is the part of you that can follow a recipe or solve a mathematical equation. Both are forms of deep intelligence. One is not better than the other. Wisdom lies not in choosing one over the other, but in learning to listen to both, allowing the mind's clear logic and the heart's deep wisdom to engage in a gentle and productive conversation. 91. Some of the most wonderful discoveries are made not by direct search, but by a kind of happy accident. This is the magic of serendipity. It is the art of finding something valuable and beautiful while you are looking for something else entirely. It requires two special qualities: a wandering curiosity that takes you down unplanned paths, and a prepared mind that is open enough to recognize the significance of an unexpected discovery. It is like an explorer who sets out to find a new trade route, but stumbles upon a stunning, undiscovered island and has the wisdom to recognize its beauty and importance. Serendipity is a gentle reminder that the world is far richer than our plans, and that the most beautiful destinations are often the ones that are not on our map. 92. The simple, childlike question of why is one of the most powerful tools for getting to the heart of a problem. We often get stuck addressing the symptoms of an issue, the surface-level difficulties. But by repeatedly and gently asking why, like a curious child, we can trace the problem back to its deepest roots. Each why takes us one layer deeper into the structure of the situation. The first why might reveal a surface cause, but the fifth why can reveal a fundamental assumption or a core principle that was previously invisible. It is the difference between trimming the leaves of a weed and pulling it up by its roots. It is a simple, quiet, and profound technique for moving beyond the obvious and into the heart of the matter. You have the quiet power to change your experience of the world by changing the story you tell yourself about it. This is the art of cognitive reframing. An event itself is neutral. It is the meaning we assign to it that makes it feel good or bad, a disaster or an opportunity. If you miss a train, you can frame it as a frustrating delay, or you can reframe it as an unexpected gift of a quiet half hour to read a book or simply watch the world go by. This gentle shift in perspective does not deny the reality of the situation, but it changes your relationship to it. It is like being a jeweler who can take a rough, ordinary-looking stone and, by turning it in the light, find the angle at which it reveals its hidden inner fire. 94. Even when we are successful, a quiet voice can sometimes whisper that we do not truly belong. This feeling, known as the imposter syndrome, is surprisingly common. It is the secret belief that you are a fraud and that you will soon be discovered, that your accomplishments are the result of luck or some misunderstanding. This is not a sign of a flaw, but often a sign of sensitivity and conscientiousness. It is like a humble king who is so aware of the great responsibility he carries that he sometimes feels he is just a simple man wearing a heavy crown. The gentle way through this feeling is not to argue with it, but to acknowledge it, and then to quietly and compassionately turn your attention back to the good work you are doing. 95. The quality of our decisions can gently decline, like a setting sun, after a long day of making choices. This is known as decision fatigue. Your capacity for thoughtful, deliberate, and wise decision-making is a finite resource, like a muscle that gets tired with use. In the morning, this muscle is fresh and strong, but after a long session of making countless small choices, what to wear, what to eat, how to respond to an email, that muscle becomes weary. When we are in this state, we are more likely to make impulsive choices, or to simply avoid making any choice at all. Understanding this gentle rhythm is a form of kindness to ourselves. It is the wisdom of making our most important decisions when our minds are fresh, in the clear, calm light of the morning. 96. Spending time in nature is like letting the mind drink from a cool, clear spring. Our brains are not designed for the constant, sharp-edged stimulation of the modern world. The relentless focus required by screens and city life can leave us feeling drained and depleted. Nature offers a different kind of stimulation, one that is soft, gentle, and restorative. It is filled with fascinating fractal patterns in ferns, in coastlines, in snowflakes that gently capture our attention without demanding it. This state of soft fascination allows our directed attention muscle to rest and recover. A simple walk in a park or a quiet moment looking at the clouds can be a profound act of mental hygiene, washing away the fatigue and allowing our natural clarity and creativity to return. 97. When your mind is quiet and at rest, a hidden network of brain regions comes alive. This is the default mode network, and it is the brain's own inner dreamer. It is active when you are not focused on any particular external task, when you are daydreaming, letting your mind wander, or just quietly resting. This is the state where the brain works on its own deep internal agenda. It integrates our experiences, thinks about our relationships with others, ponders the future, and generates our most creative and intuitive insights. It is the mind's own secret garden, a place it goes to quietly process and make sense of the world. It is a beautiful reminder that our most profound thinking often happens when we feel we are not thinking at all. 98. The moment of sudden insight, the aha moment, has a distinct and beautiful signature in the brain. In the seconds just before a solution breaks through into our awareness, scientists have observed a burst of high-frequency brainwaves called gamma waves. It is like a sudden, synchronized flash of light across the cortex, particularly on the right side of the brain. This electrical storm signifies the moment a new and powerful neural network is formed, the moment when distant and previously unconnected ideas are suddenly bound together into a new, meaningful whole. It is the physical manifestation of discovery, a brief and brilliant flash of lightning in the quiet inner landscape of the mind, illuminating everything in a new and wonderful way. 99. Your body is not just a vessel that carries your brain around, it is an intimate and wise partner in the process of thinking. This is the idea of embodied cognition. It suggests that our thoughts are deeply shaped by the physical experiences of our bodies. We understand abstract concepts through physical metaphors. A difficult problem is heavy. A happy person is light. The future is ahead of us. The very act of gesturing with our hands can help us to formulate and clarify our thoughts. A warm cup in our hands can make us feel more warmly towards others. Our mind is not a disembodied computer. It is a living, breathing process that is distributed throughout our entire being. To solve a problem, we must bring our whole selves to the task: our bodies, our senses, our breath. 100. A group of individuals under the right conditions can manifest an intelligence far greater than that of any single member. This is the wisdom of the crowd. It is not about a group of experts, but about a diverse collection of ordinary people, each with their own private information and unique perspective. When their individual judgments are aggregated, their collective answer is often surprisingly and beautifully accurate. This happens because the individual biases and random errors of each person tend to cancel each other out, leaving behind a clear and powerful signal of collective wisdom. It is like a great flock of birds that can turn and wheel in the sky as if it were a single organism, each bird responding to its neighbors, creating a pattern of emergent grace that no single bird could have designed on its own. 101. Sometimes the most graceful way forward is to take a quiet step to the side. This is the art of lateral thinking, a gentle departure from the straight, logical path that our minds are so accustomed to. Instead of trying to dig a hole deeper in the same spot, it is the wisdom of deciding to dig somewhere else entirely. It is about questioning the very assumptions that form the walls of the problem and wondering what would happen if those walls were not there at all. Imagine a river flowing toward a mountain. Vertical thinking is trying to push the mountain over. Lateral thinking is ignoring the mountain and looking for a quiet, forgotten valley to the left or the right. It is a soft and playful kind of creativity, a willingness to be deliberately unreasonable in order to find a new and more beautiful kind of reason. It is the freedom of leaving the main road to wander through a sun-dappled meadow. 102. To truly understand a problem, you can gently deconstruct it down to its most fundamental and unchangeable truths. This is the practice of thinking from first principles. Instead of reasoning by analogy, by looking at how things have been done before, you begin from a place of pure, childlike questioning. You take a complex machine, and in your mind, you take it apart, piece by piece, until you are left with only the raw materials, the metal, the glass, the basic laws of physics that govern it. From this place of elemental truth, you can then begin to reconstruct a solution in a new and often far more elegant way, free from the weight of tradition and assumption. It is like wanting to build a house, and instead of just copying other houses, you start by quietly contemplating the nature of shelter, of warmth, of stone, and of wood. It is the search for the silent, unshakable bedrock on which the problem rests. 103. There is a state of mind where you become so absorbed in a task that the rest of the world gently fades away. This is the beautiful experience of being in a state of flow. It is a place of effortless attention, where your skills are perfectly matched to the challenge at hand. Time itself seems to dissolve. Hours can pass by in what feels like minutes. Your sense of a separate self can soften, and you feel a deep, flowing connection with the activity itself. It is not a state of frantic effort, but one of serene and focused grace, like a skilled surfer riding a perfect wave. The mind is not struggling or straining, but is carried along by a current of pure engagement. It is in this selfless, timeless state of being that our best work is often done, not because we are trying, but because we have become one with the trying. 104. The act of playing is one of the most serious and profound forms of thinking. We often separate play from work, seeing one as frivolous and the other as important. But for the mind, play is a deep and essential form of exploration. In a state of play, we feel safe to experiment, to try on new ideas, to fail without consequence, and to be gloriously and wonderfully silly. It is a state of low stakes and high creativity. It is like a kitten playing with a ball of yarn. In its playful pouncing and batting, it is actually practicing the fundamental skills of survival. In the same way, when we approach a problem with a sense of lightness and play, we are allowing our minds to practice new ways of thinking, to build novel connections in a joyful and stress-free environment. Play is the mind's laboratory for the imagination. 105. Every new idea is a quiet step into a room that was just next door to what we already knew. This is the concept of the adjacent possible. It suggests that innovation does not happen in great, heroic leaps into the complete unknown, but in small, gentle, and exploratory steps. At any given moment, the world is filled with a set of possibilities, a collection of doors that are waiting to be opened. Once a new door is opened, once a new invention is made, or a new idea is born, it reveals a whole new set of adjacent rooms, a new suite of possibilities that did not exist before. Creativity is the gentle art of exploring the edges of the current room and finding the handle to the next door. It is a quiet, continuous, and beautiful unfolding of what can be, one step at a time. 106. A single raindrop is not a storm, and a single tree is not a forest. This is the core of systems thinking, a gentle way of seeing that a problem is rarely an isolated event, but a part of a larger, interconnected web of relationships. Instead of focusing on a single, troublesome part, this perspective invites us to zoom out and see the whole pattern, the silent, invisible connections that link everything together. It is like looking at a beautiful spider web. You cannot understand the strength of a single thread without seeing how it is supported by and supports every other thread in the web. By seeing the problem as a part of a living, breathing system, we can often find solutions that are far more gentle and holistic, addressing the underlying pattern rather than just the surface-level symptom. It is the wisdom of seeing the whole forest, not just the one ailing tree. 107. Our emotions are like the weather of the mind, and a good night's sleep is a gentle and clearing breeze. When we are tired, our emotional landscape can become turbulent. Small frustrations can feel like great storms, and feelings of anxiety can linger like a thick fog. This is because the part of our brain responsible for emotional regulation, the prefrontal cortex, is deeply affected by fatigue. Sleep is the time when this system can rest and restore itself. It is a period of quiet, emotional housekeeping, where the mind processes the feelings of the day, softening the sharp edges and integrating the lessons. We can often go to bed with a heart that feels heavy and tangled, and wake up in the morning to find a sense of clarity and calm, the emotional skies having been quietly cleared while we slept. 108. The gentle act of putting something off can be a secret form of wisdom. We often see procrastination as a simple failure of willpower, but it can sometimes be a subtle signal from our deeper, intuitive mind. It can be a quiet whisper that says, "This is not the right time," or "There is a key piece of information that is still missing." This kind of procrastination is not born of laziness, but of a need for more incubation. It is the mind's request for more time to let the ingredients of a problem sit and marinate, to allow the unconscious processes to do their quiet work. It is like a master chef who knows that a dish cannot be rushed, that it needs to rest for a while for the flavors to truly deepen. This patient procrastination is a form of trust in the mind's own timing. 109. Sometimes the greatest step forward is to gently let go of a piece of knowledge that is no longer serving you. This is the quiet and often difficult process of unlearning. Our minds are built to acquire and hold on to information, to build stable structures of belief. But in a changing world, some of our old maps can become outdated, and continuing to follow them can lead us astray. Unlearning is the courageous act of admitting that a once cherished map is no longer accurate and being willing to fold it up and put it away. It is not an act of forgetting, but an act of intentional release, creating a clear and open space in the mind for a new and more accurate map to be drawn. It is the wisdom of the snake, which knows it must shed its old skin in order to grow. 110. The universe seems to have a deep and beautiful preference for simplicity. This idea, often called Occam's razor, suggests that when we are faced with several competing explanations for something, the simplest one, the one with the fewest assumptions, is most likely to be the correct one. It is a gentle guiding principle, not an ironclad law. It is like being a detective who knows that the most elaborate and convoluted theories are rarely the true story. The truth is often quieter, more direct, and more elegant. Our own minds can get lost in creating fantastically complex solutions to problems, when a much simpler, more beautiful answer is waiting patiently to be seen. It is a quiet reminder to look for the most graceful path, the one that flows like a river with the fewest possible turns. 111. Our understanding of the world is built upon a silent, invisible scaffolding of metaphor. We often think of metaphors as a poetic flourish, a way to make language more beautiful, but they are far more fundamental than that. Metaphors are the very structure of our abstract thought. We understand a difficult argument by attacking its weak points. We see time as a form of money that we can spend or waste. The metaphors we choose to frame a problem silently guide the solutions we are able to imagine. If we see a disagreement as a war, the only solutions are victory or defeat. But if we reframe it as a dance, then the goal becomes one of coordinated movement and harmony. By gently becoming aware of the metaphors we are living by, we gain the quiet power to choose new ones. We learn from the stories of success, but we often miss the quiet wisdom of the stories that are never told. This is the gentle trap of survivorship bias. We see the successful entrepreneurs, the famous artists, the ancient buildings that are still standing, and we study them to learn their secrets. But we do not see the countless others who followed the exact same path and failed, their stories lost to time like silent, unmarked graves. By focusing only on the survivors, we can get a skewed and overly optimistic picture of reality. It is like judging the safety of a forest by talking only to the people who made it out. A gentle and wise perspective remembers to ask about the quiet ones, the ones who did not return, for their silent stories hold just as much truth. 113. The journey of 1,000 miles begins not with a grand leap, but with the quiet and humble act of taking a single step. When faced with a large and intimidating problem, our minds can become paralyzed by the sheer scale of the task. We look at the distant mountain peak and feel it is impossible to reach. The gentle antidote to this paralysis is to ignore the mountain for a moment and focus all of your attention on the single, small, and ridiculously easy first step you could take. It could be as simple as opening a notebook or sending one email. This small act of beginning breaks the spell of inertia. It creates a tiny, gentle momentum, and it sends a powerful message to your own mind that the journey, however long, has already begun. 114. An idea held in the mind is like a shimmering and elusive ghost, but an idea written on a page becomes a solid and trusted friend. The simple act of externalizing your thoughts, of giving them a physical home outside your own head, is a profound act of clarification. It frees your mind from the difficult work of both generating ideas and trying to remember them at the same time. A journal or a whiteboard becomes a patient and non-judgmental partner in your thinking process. You can see all the parts of a problem laid out at once. You can draw connections between them with lines and arrows, and you can walk away and come back later, knowing your thoughts will be waiting for you exactly as you left them. It is the art of building a quiet, external room for your mind to work in. 115. A gentle change in your surroundings can create a gentle change in your thoughts. The mind is like a subtle and sensitive musical instrument, and it is constantly being tuned by the environment around it. The soft, ambient hum of a coffee shop can be more conducive to creativity than a perfectly silent room. The specific quality of the afternoon light filtering through a window can spark a certain kind of nostalgic memory. We are porous beings, and our inner world is in a constant, quiet dialogue with the world outside. By choosing our environments with gentle intention, by seeking out places that feel calm or inspiring or expansive, we are not just changing the scenery. We are subtly and powerfully changing the very landscape of our own minds, creating the conditions for new and beautiful thoughts to arise. 116. Your brain contains two beautiful and distinct ways of seeing the world which exist in a silent and constant dialogue. The left hemisphere is often associated with logic, language, and linear step-by-step analysis. It is the part of you that can follow a sequence and see the details. The right hemisphere is more holistic, intuitive, and spatial. It sees the big picture, understands metaphor, and recognizes patterns. A healthy and creative mind is not one that is dominated by either side, but one in which the two hemispheres are in a state of graceful and seamless collaboration. It is like a great and beautiful cathedral, which required both the precise measurements of the architect and the grand, holistic vision of the artist. The solution to a complex problem often requires this same beautiful partnership. 117. To truly understand an idea, you can try to explain it to someone else. The act of teaching is a powerful and often surprising tool for learning. When an idea is inside your own head, it can feel complete and coherent. But when you are forced to translate that idea into clear, simple language that another person can understand, you immediately discover the gaps and the fuzzy spots in your own thinking. You are forced to build a logical bridge from your mind to theirs, and in the process of building that bridge, you solidify your own foundations. It is a beautiful act of shared discovery, where the teacher, in the gentle act of giving their knowledge away, finds that their own understanding has become deeper and clearer than ever before. 118. Giving a name to a difficult feeling or a complex problem is like lighting a single, steady candle in a vast and dark room. This is the power of labeling. An unnamed anxiety can feel like a huge, shapeless, and overwhelming presence. But the moment you can gently say, this is the fear of failure, or this is the feeling of uncertainty, the formless dread begins to shrink. It becomes a known quantity, a specific thing that can be observed and understood. The act of naming it creates a small, quiet space between you and the feeling. It does not make the feeling vanish, but it transforms it from a terrifying monster into something manageable and known. It is the first, gentle step toward a peaceful and compassionate understanding. 119. Our memory of a difficult experience is often just a story of its most intense moment and its final moments. This is the peak end rule, a gentle quirk of our emotional memory. We do not remember an experience as a perfect average of every moment. Instead, our minds create a quick, impressionistic summary, heavily biased towards the most emotionally intense part, the peak, and how the experience ended. A long and moderately unpleasant task that ends on a positive note can be remembered more fondly than a shorter, less unpleasant task that ends on a negative one. This is a gentle reminder that the way we conclude a difficult process, the final note we play, can color our entire memory of the song. A graceful ending can redeem a difficult journey. 120. Once your mind learns a new idea or solves a new puzzle, you suddenly start to see it everywhere. This delightful illusion is the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, or frequency illusion. It is not that the thing has suddenly become more common in the world. It is that your mind has now created a special filter, a new pattern it is actively looking for. It is like learning a new word and then hearing it 3 times in the next day. Your brain, in its delight at its new knowledge, is like a child with a new toy, noticing all the places it can be used. It is a beautiful sign of a mind that is actively learning and making connections, a quiet and joyful echo of your own recent discovery. 121. The physical act of smiling, even when you do not feel happy, can send a quiet message of peace to your own brain. This is the facial feedback hypothesis. The connection between our minds and our bodies is a two-way street. While your emotions can cause you to make a certain facial expression, the reverse is also true. The physical act of making an expression can gently influence your emotional state. A soft, gentle smile can trigger the release of neurotransmitters that are associated with feelings of calm and contentment. It is not a way to ignore or suppress difficult feelings, but a simple physical act of kindness to yourself, a gentle reminder to your own nervous system that a state of peace is possible. It is like sending a small, reassuring note from your body to your mind. We have a gentle and natural tendency to prefer the things we are familiar with. This is the mere exposure effect. It is the quiet reason why a song you are unsure of at first can become a beloved favorite after you have heard it a dozen times, or why a face you see every day can begin to seem more trustworthy and attractive. The mind finds a soft comfort in the familiar. It takes less energy to process, and it feels safe. This is a gentle and protective instinct. In problem solving, it means we can sometimes be wary of a new and strange-seeming solution, preferring the comfort of an old, familiar approach. Knowing this, we can gently encourage ourselves to spend a little time with a new idea to let it become more familiar before we decide how we truly feel about it. 123. Some problems are not like knots to be untied, but like heavy weights that simply need to be carried for a while. Not every difficulty in life has a neat and tidy solution. Some situations, particularly those involving loss or profound change, do not ask for our cleverness, but for our resilience and our compassion. The problem is not how to fix the situation, but how to find a way to live with it gracefully. This requires a different kind of strength, not the sharp intelligence of a puzzle solver, but the quiet, enduring strength of a great tree that learns to grow around a large stone. It is the gentle wisdom of accepting what cannot be changed and focusing our energy on cultivating peace and strength within ourselves. 124. The mind is a natural prediction machine, constantly and quietly trying to guess what will happen next. Every moment of your life, your brain is taking in sensory information and comparing it to your vast library of past experiences to generate a model of the immediate future. This is why you can catch a ball or know the next note in a familiar song. This predictable ability is a gift, allowing us to navigate the world with a sense of fluid ease. But it can also become a trap in problem solving, when our predictions about how a solution should work prevent us from seeing how it actually does work. The gentle art is to hold our predictions lightly, to be willing to be surprised, and to update our inner model of the world with a sense of quiet curiosity. 125. The story of who you are is not a fixed truth, but a narrative that you are quietly editing every day. This is the concept of the narrative self. Your mind takes the countless, chaotic experiences of your life and weaves them together into a coherent story with a past, a present, and a future. This story gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose, but it is just that, a story. And as the author, you have the gentle power to choose which events to emphasize, how to interpret past struggles, and what kind of character you wish to become. By consciously choosing to tell a story of resilience, of learning, and of kindness, you can gently shape not only your memory of the past, but also the possibilities you are able to see for your future. 126. To look at something with the eyes of an artist is to see it not for what it is called, but for what it purely is. This is the practice of seeing things as pure shape, color, and light, a technique used by artists to draw more accurately. It is a way of temporarily turning off the language centers of the brain that want to label everything. Instead of seeing a chair, you see a collection of lines, angles, and shadows. By practicing this kind of pure, non-judgmental observation on a problem, you can free yourself from your preconceived ideas about it. You begin to see the raw components of the situation, the underlying patterns and structures that were hidden beneath the familiar labels, opening up a new and fresh space for creative thought. 127. What we choose to pay attention to creates the entire fabric of our reality. Our senses are constantly being flooded with millions of bits of information, far more than our brains can possibly process. Attention is the gentle and powerful spotlight that our mind uses to select which of these bits to bring into our conscious awareness. The rest simply fades into the background. This means that the world you experience is not the world as it is, but the world as it is selected by your attention. A problem can feel overwhelming because our attention is locked onto all the difficult and threatening aspects of it. By gently and intentionally guiding our spotlight of attention to our strengths, to the resources we have, or to the small signs of progress, we can fundamentally change our experience of the problem without changing the external facts at all. 128. A quiet moment of gratitude can change the entire chemistry of your mind. The act of consciously bringing to mind the things you are thankful for, no matter how small, is not just a pleasant thought exercise. It has been shown to shift brain activity toward areas associated with positive emotion, to increase the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and to calm the parts of the brain associated with fear and anxiety. It is a gentle and powerful way to change your own inner weather. When you are feeling stuck or overwhelmed by a problem, pausing for a moment to feel genuine gratitude for something simple, a warm cup, a comfortable chair, a quiet room, can create a profound shift in your mental state, moving you from a place of scarcity to a place of resourcefulness. 129. The mind has a beautiful ability to see a complete and whole object even when parts of it are missing. This is the Gestalt principle of closure. When you look at a circle that has a small gap in it, your mind automatically and effortlessly fills in the missing piece and sees a complete circle. Our minds have a deep love for wholeness and completion. This is a gift that allows us to make sense of a messy and incomplete world. In problem solving, it is the drive that pushes us to find the missing piece of the puzzle, the piece that will make the picture feel whole and satisfying. It is the mind's own gentle and persistent yearning for a sense of peace, harmony, and completion. 130. The most difficult problems are often solved not by a single person, but by a relay race of minds across generations. This is the nature of scientific and cultural progress. One thinker lays a foundation of ideas, another builds upon it, and a third, perhaps a century later, sees a new connection that finally completes the structure. Isaac Newton famously said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." This is a beautiful and humble recognition that our own thinking is always a part of a much larger conversation. It takes the pressure off of us to find the final, perfect answer to everything, and allows us to see our own contribution as a small, valuable, and necessary part of a great and ongoing human journey. 131. The physical posture of your body can open or close the mind to new ideas. Social psychologist Amy Cuddy has shown that adopting an expansive, high-power pose, standing tall with your shoulders back and your arms wide, can actually change your hormonal balance, increasing feelings of confidence and reducing feelings of stress. Conversely, a closed, slumped posture can make us feel more defensive and less open to risk. This is another beautiful example of embodied cognition, the deep dialogue between our physical and mental selves. Before tackling a difficult problem, the simple, gentle act of standing up, stretching, and opening your body can send a powerful signal of confidence and expansiveness to your own mind, creating a more resourceful inner state. 132. Sometimes the most powerful thing to do is to change the scale of the problem. If a problem feels overwhelming, you can ask, what will this matter in 10 years? In 100? This vast expansion of the timeline can often shrink the problem down to a more manageable size, placing it in the context of your whole life, or even of human history. Conversely, if a problem feels too abstract and distant, you can shrink the scale, asking, what is the very next tiny physical action I can take in the next 5 minutes? This brings the problem into the immediate, tangible present. By consciously adjusting the zoom lens of your perspective, you can find the scale at which the problem feels the most clear and the least intimidating. 133. We often overestimate what we can do in a single day and underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. Our minds are not very good at predicting the future, especially when it comes to the cumulative effect of small, consistent actions. We can feel frustrated when we do not see huge results from one day of effort, and we can give up. But the power of gentle, steady progress is like the power of a tiny stream that, over centuries, can carve a great canyon. A single page written each day becomes a long book. A few minutes of practice each day becomes mastery. The gentle art is to fall in love with the small, daily process and to trust that the great and beautiful outcome is quietly and inevitably taking shape. 134. The mind that is at peace with itself is the most powerful tool for solving the problems of the world. A mind that is filled with inner conflict, with self-criticism and unresolved feelings, must spend a great deal of its energy simply managing its own internal state. There is little energy left over for clear, creative, and compassionate thinking. But a mind that has cultivated a sense of inner kindness and self-acceptance is like a deep, calm, and clear lake. Its surface is still, allowing it to perfectly reflect the sky above. Its waters are clear, allowing you to see all the way to the bottom. This inner peace is not a selfish luxury. It is the very foundation from which all wise and effective action is born. 135. The brain treats a threat to our ideas and beliefs with the same intensity as a threat to our physical survival. When someone challenges a deeply held belief, the parts of our brain that light up are the same ones that are responsible for keeping us safe from physical harm. This is why a simple disagreement can feel so stressful and so personal. Our minds have bound our ideas to our very sense of self. The gentle path is to slowly and carefully untangle our identity from our opinions. It is the quiet realization that you are not your beliefs. You are the vast, open, and peaceful awareness that is capable of holding many different beliefs and of changing them with grace and curiosity. 136. Solutions are often found by those who can hold two opposing ideas in their mind at the same time. The writer F. Scott Fitzgerald said that the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. This is the essence of thinking in paradox. It is the ability to see that something can be both strong and gentle, both simple and complex, both a part and a whole. This kind of thinking resists the mind's natural desire for simple, black and white answers. It allows for a richer, more nuanced, and more truthful understanding of the world. It is the quiet courage to live in the space of both and, rather than the confining space of either or. 137. Your mind has a quiet and constant need for a sense of control and autonomy. When we feel that we are just a cog in a machine, that our choices do not matter, our motivation and creativity can wither. But when we are given a sense of agency, a space where we can make our own decisions and chart our own course, our minds come alive. This is why the most innovative environments are often the ones that provide a clear goal, but a great deal of freedom in how to get there. Granting yourself the same sense of gentle autonomy in your own life, finding the small corners where you are the captain of your own ship, is a powerful way to awaken your mind's natural, joyful drive to solve problems and create. 138. The simple act of being in the presence of another calm and regulated person can soothe our own nervous system. Our brains are deeply social organs, equipped with something called mirror neurons. These are specialized cells that fire not only when we perform an action, but also when we see someone else perform that same action. They are the basis of empathy. They also mean that we are constantly and subtly mirroring the emotional states of the people around us. When you are feeling stuck and anxious, simply sitting quietly with a calm and supportive friend can have a profound effect. Their inner state of peace is communicated to you through 1,000 tiny nonverbal cues, and your own system gently begins to mirror that calm. 139. We are often trying to solve today's problems with the part of our brain that evolved to solve the problems of 100,000 years ago. Our brains are beautifully adapted for survival on the ancient savanna, with a powerful built-in negativity bias that makes us hyper-aware of potential threats. A single snake in the grass was far more important to notice than 100 beautiful flowers. This ancient wiring is still active within us, and it can make a stressful email feel like a life-threatening predator. The gentle wisdom is to recognize this ancient, anxious part of ourselves with compassion, to thank it for trying to keep us safe, and then to gently activate the more modern, rational parts of our brain that know the difference between a real tiger and a paper one. 140. The most profound learning often comes not from success, but from a gentle and compassionate analysis of our mistakes. A mistake is not a verdict on our worth. It is simply a piece of high-quality, specific information about what does not work. When an airplane's flight recorder, its black box, is recovered after a crash, it is not used to blame the pilot, but to learn everything possible from the event so that all future flights can be safer. We can learn to create a similar black box for ourselves, a gentle and non-judgmental process of looking at our mistakes with pure curiosity. By asking, "What can I learn from this?" we transform every error from a source of shame into a source of deep and invaluable wisdom. 141. A solution can feel like a sudden revelation, but its foundations were often built during long periods of quiet, unspectacular work. We love the stories of sudden breakthroughs, of Archimedes shouting "Eureka" in his bath. But we often forget the years of patient study and contemplation that preceded that moment. The aha moment is simply the final visible stone being placed upon a great invisible pyramid that has been built stone by stone in the quiet darkness of the mind. This is a gentle and encouraging truth. It reminds us that the small, steady, and sometimes tedious efforts we make each day are never wasted. They are all contributing to a deep and solid foundation from which a beautiful and surprising insight will one day, in its own perfect time, arise. 142. The quiet space just between wakefulness and sleep is a uniquely creative and magical state of mind. This gentle, dreamlike state is known as the hypnagogic state. As you drift off to sleep, your logical mind begins to relax its grip, and your thoughts become more fluid, more associative, and more wonderfully strange. It is a time when vivid images and unexpected connections can float up from the depths of your subconscious. Many great thinkers and artists have used this state intentionally, learning to hover in this gentle borderland to receive its gifts. By simply paying gentle attention to your thoughts as you fall asleep, you are visiting one of your mind's most secret and fertile gardens. 143. The brain's primary job is not to think, but to keep your body alive and well. Every thought, every emotion, and every decision is ultimately in service of this deeper biological imperative. Your brain is constantly regulating your heart rate, your digestion, your body temperature, all in a silent, beautiful, and effortless dance. This is the concept of elastasis. When we are stuck on a problem, it can be helpful to remember this fundamental truth. Sometimes the best way to help your brain is to first help your body. A glass of water, a healthy meal, a few deep breaths, or a short walk can change your physical state, which in turn sends a powerful signal of safety and well-being back to your brain, freeing up its resources for higher-level creative thinking. 144. The feeling of awe, of witnessing something vast and beautiful, can make our own problems seem to shrink. When we stand before a great ocean, or look up at a sky filled with a billion stars, or listen to a piece of music so beautiful it brings tears to our eyes, we experience a sense of awe. This emotion has a fascinating effect on the mind. It makes our own sense of self feel smaller, quieter, and less important. It shifts our attention from our own narrow worries to the vast, grand mystery of existence. This shrinking of the self can be a profound relief. It places our personal struggles into a much larger context, and from that vast and beautiful perspective, they often lose their sharp and intimidating power. 145. We are gently guided by an invisible architecture of social norms, the quiet, unwritten rules of our culture. These norms shape our behavior in countless ways, from how we greet a stranger to what we consider a good solution to a problem. This shared understanding is like the grammar of a language. It allows us to interact smoothly and predictably, but it can also limit the range of solutions we are able to imagine. A truly creative idea is often one that gently and respectfully breaks one of these unwritten rules. It is the quiet courage to question the invisible grammar, to wonder if a sentence could be structured in a completely new and beautiful way, even if it is not the way things are normally done. 146. The mind has a remarkable ability to adapt to almost any circumstance, eventually returning to a stable level of happiness. This is known as hedonic adaptation. After a major life event, whether positive or negative, we tend to feel a strong emotional response. But over time, we gently adapt, and that new reality becomes our normal baseline. This is a quiet and powerful source of resilience. It is a gentle promise from our own minds that even after great difficulty, a sense of peace and contentment can and usually will return. It also reminds us that external solutions alone rarely bring lasting happiness. True contentment is a quiet and internal skill, a way of being that we can cultivate regardless of the changing landscape of our lives. 147. Some of our most important knowledge is not a set of facts, but a silent and intuitive feel for how to do things. This is tacit knowledge. It is the wisdom of the master craftsman who cannot explain how they know the wood is ready. They can just feel it. It is the skill of the experienced doctor who can sense that something is wrong with the patient before the tests confirm it. This kind of knowledge is not learned from books, but is absorbed slowly and patiently through years of direct, hands-on experience. It is a deep and wordless understanding that resides in the hands, in the body, and in the heart as much as in the head. It is a quiet reminder that not all knowing can be put into words. 148. The most stubborn problems often contain their own solution, hidden in plain sight. This is the principle of inversion, the gentle art of thinking backward. Instead of asking how to achieve a desired outcome, you ask the opposite. What would I have to do to guarantee failure? By making a list of all the things that would lead to the worst possible result, you are often presented with a surprisingly clear and simple roadmap for success. It is simply the list of what not to do. This strange, backward journey can illuminate the obstacles and pitfalls that were previously invisible, allowing you to navigate around them with a new and profound sense of clarity. It is the wisdom of studying the shadow in order to understand the light. 149. Your mind is not a single, unified self, but a rich and diverse community of different parts. This is the idea of a modular mind. Within you, there is a part that is cautious and seeks safety, a part that is curious and seeks novelty, a part that is nurturing and seeks connection. A feeling of inner conflict is often just a disagreement between these different members of your own internal community. The gentle art of self-awareness is to become a kind and wise leader of this inner parliament, to listen to the concerns of each part, and to help them work together toward a common goal. A good solution is one that honors the needs of the different, beautiful voices that make up the whole of who you are. 150. The pursuit of a solution is often more important than the solution itself. It is in the process of wrestling with a difficult question that we grow the most. The journey forces us to learn new things, to question our assumptions, to become more patient, more resilient, and more creative. The problem is like a whetstone that the universe uses to sharpen our minds. When we finally arrive at a solution, we are not the same person who started the journey. We are stronger, wiser, and have a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. The true gift of a problem is not the answer we find at the end, but the beautiful and transformative journey it asks us to take. And so, our gentle wandering through the quiet inner landscapes of the mind draws to a peaceful close. The current of our exploration begins to slow now, the river of ideas widening into a great and tranquil delta, preparing to merge with the silent, deep ocean of sleep. There is nothing left to discover tonight, nothing more to explore. The only task that remains is to simply float, to be carried on this last, slow current as it brings you to a shore of perfect rest. Let the gentle rhythm of my voice become one with the rhythm of your own breathing, a soft and steady tide carrying you into the calm. We have drifted tonight through the mind's most beautiful and hidden places. We have felt the deep, silent currents that move far beneath the surface of our waking thoughts, the tireless and gentle work that happens in perfect stillness. We have witnessed the sudden, breathtaking bloom of an insight, the gentle sunrise that reveals a whole field of interconnected ideas that had been resting quietly in the dark. We have learned to see the world with new eyes, to look at a familiar object and see not just its purpose, but all the wonderful things it could become, like finding a secret universe in a simple grain of sand. We floated on the current of a wandering mind, like a butterfly drifting through a vast and tranquil garden, trusting in its gentle, meandering path to create beautiful and unexpected connections. The journey has shown us that the mind's greatest strength is not in forceful effort, but in a quiet and graceful letting go. We saw that being stuck is not a wall, but a gentle invitation to pause, to allow the river of thought to grow wide and still, and to find a new and easier path on its own. We felt the wisdom in a good night's sleep, understanding it not as a skate of emptiness, but as the work of a gentle librarian quietly sorting and shelving the experiences of the day into a new and more beautiful order. We learned to trust the quiet spaces, the moments of rest, the fallow fields of boredom, where the seeds of our most creative thoughts are patiently waiting to grow. The mind is not a machine to be driven, but a garden to be tended with patience, with kindness, and with a deep and abiding trust in its own natural cycles of growth and renewal. And this quiet, wondrous place is your own mind. The same gentle wisdom that guides the river to the sea, that teaches the tree to grow around the stone, is at work within you, even now as you rest. You are not the frantic searcher, struggling for an answer in the dark. You are the quiet, fertile ground in which the answers naturally and effortlessly grow. The vast library of your own life, with all of its experiences and all of its wisdom, resides peacefully within you. The silent, creative force that weaves galaxies and sprouts forests is not a distant power. It is here, in the gentle intelligence that knows how to heal a wound, how to beat your heart, and how to guide you into the deep, restorative peace of sleep. You do not need to solve anything tonight. Your only task is to trust in this deep inner wisdom, to allow the gentle gardener of your own mind to do its quiet, nightly work. So now, let yourself drift fully into that peace. Let go of the journey and simply rest in the destination. There is nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to think about. Let any remaining thoughts become like distant, gentle clouds, drifting slowly and peacefully across the vast, open sky of your awareness, and then dissolving into the quiet blue. Let your body feel heavy, soft, and deeply relaxed. Let every muscle release, every tension unwind as you sink deeper and deeper into the wonderful feeling of letting go. The quiet, creative magic of your mind works best when you are asleep. Trust in it. Surrender to the gentle pull of slumber. May your dreams be a beautiful and wondrous landscape, full of surprising connections and peaceful journeys. May you rest deeply and wake up feeling clear, refreshed, and whole. It is time to sleep now. Good night.